Hello everybody, this is Miss Nancy from the Clearview Library District, and I have the October Family Take and Make Craft Kit to do with you today. So I hope you have fun doing this with me. There are instructions in your kit too, but some of the things are a little tricky and you'll be watching this. Okay? Please remember that there is a Take and Make kit in November and a December. So if you have fun today doing this kit, make sure you pick up those kits in November and December. They are on a first come, first served basis. Okay? Now, before we get started, a couple things you're going to want to round up at your house. Some scissors would be a really good thing to have. Some glue, like always. And this one's a little different. You're going to want to have a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon and a 1 teaspoon measuring spoon. Okay? Okay, I'm going to show you the crafts that we're going to make today, and then we will get started. So, first of all, we are going to make candy corn slime. Now, this slime is not edible. It does not taste like candy corn. I guarantee you it will not taste anything like candy corn. But it's pretty cool slime. It's candy corn colored, and as you play with it more and more, it's going to turn a really pretty pumpkin-y orange. But until it's all mixed together, you're going to see all the different colors in it. Okay? So that's one of the things we're going to make today. We're going to make a funny little beaded pumpkin. Now, we gave you guys all the orange beads, so we didn't have enough left to make our sample. So this one's a little funky colored, but you'll see it's going to be super fun to make and super cute. Okay, so beaded pumpkin. And the third thing you're going to make is a tissue paper sunflower. This one's super fun. I kind of want to take mine and maybe decoupage it or something to protect it from the weather and put it outside by my front door. So I think that one's super cute. Okay, are you ready to get started? You've got all your stuff? Okay, so hopefully you picked up a kit. There's a lot of stuff in this kit, and it's really hard to tell what goes with what. Your instructions if you need them. Now remember, you can also watch this video over again if you get lost on anything. Okay? So I'm going to try to pull the stuff out for each craft one at a time. We'll see how I do. Blue paper for your sunflower. Okay, I'm going to set that down. Orange tissue paper. That's for the sunflower. Yellow tissue paper. Sunflower again. Let's see what else. Oh, green paper. Okay. And I think the last thing for this is a baggie of sunflower seeds. Those are definitely for the sunflower. So I'm going to take all those things and set them aside so that they are all together when we get ready to do that craft. Now, let's see. I see some pipe cleaners, Chanel stems, whatever you call them. There's a green one, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 orange ones. And so, let's see. We're going to want the orange beads, okay? And you see, you guys get orange beads. Your pumpkin is going to be very fallish looking. Okay, so for the pumpkin, I have the Chanel stems and the beads, and I'm going to set those aside in a pile so that they're all ready when we want to make it. Okay? Now, finally, this is the funny one. There is a big baggie, and it has glue. Okay? And this is a combination of clear glue and white school glue, so it's just like Elmer's glue. Okay? And the bag, adults, will make it a lot easier for your children to make slime, and maybe it won't get all over your house when they make it. Okay, but remember when you're making the slime, you do want to be at a table. You might want to have a covering on the table. You definitely don't want to get this on the carpet or the furniture or your clothes. Okay? Okay, glue. What else? Ah, okay, there is a little container and it has a clear liquid in it. And this is contact lens solution. I use the same thing every morning in my eyes. Okay, so clear contact lens solution. Let's see what else. This is baking soda, the white powder. Okay, put it with your slime stuff. A baggie. This is what you can store your slime in after you're done making it. Okay, just like I did here. Okay, what else is in here? Yellow paint and glitter. They're mixed together, okay, so you don't have to do two things. And orange paint and glitter. Okay. Now, there's one more thing in our kit that's super important. Adults, please snap a pic. Okay, your kids are going to be making some really cool fall decorations and things to play with here, and we would love, love, love to see their finished products. We'd love to see them making it with me, and we'd love to see them in the process of interacting with me. So if you can, snap a pic, send it to me at nancy@clearviewlibrary.org, and we'll share it on social media so everyone can see the fun that we have. Okay? Okay, let's get started. I'm going to put that aside, and we are going to start with the slime. So we have our bag, and we're going to open it. Okay? I'm going to set it, I'm going to try to tip this a little more. You might not see me as much, but you'll be able to see the table better. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to tip this and do that. There you go. Much better. Okay, what do you think of that? There. So, there's my slime. Now, I am going to add the baking soda first. So that's the powdery white baking soda. It's just like you used to cook with. Okay? And I'm going to use the small spoon, the teaspoon, and I'm only going to fill it about half full. Okay? Let's see if I can get that. So I'm going to guess that's about a half full. Okay? And I'm going to, want to get this open all the way so I get that down with the glue. I'm going to pour it in on top of the glue. Okay? I'm going to put the lid back on so I don't spill it everywhere. And I'm going to get the bigger spoon. And adults, if you need to help with the measuring and the pouring, that's great. I'm going to pour the contact lens solution in to fill the spoon pretty much the whole way. Okay? Now, I want you to keep the contact solution right here because you may need to add a little more, and you'll have to see. Now, I have the baking soda and the contact solution in there. Make sure you get every drip. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of push the air out and seal it. That's really important, okay? Make sure it's closed, and then you can just kind of mix it with your hands and just see what happens. Okay, this is super fun for the littles in your house, as long as you have them sealed really good, adults, okay? And we're going to mix it and mix it and mix it, and we hope that it's going to start sticking to the bag, okay? Is it? Is yours? Mine looks thicker, but I don't think it's sticking yet. Oh, it is a little bit. Okay, let's mix it a little more. Now, one way that you can tell if it's getting to turn into slime is opening the bag and see how it's starting to get a little bit stringy in there. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to take my contact lens solution and I'm just going to add a few more drops. Now, adults, be careful. You don't want to use it all if you can help it, because we're only going to add a little at a time. And then I'm going to seal it again. And I'm going to mix it again. Now, as I mix it, you're going to start seeing that it pulls away from the side of the bag and it's starting to stick together. Now, mine's still pretty sticky. What is yours like? We'll see, huh? Okay. And I'm going to open it up and I'm going to stick my hands in there. And oh, it's still pretty sticky, isn't it? Do you see that? So I think I'm going to add a little more contact solution. Okay? And I'm going to try to clean it off my hands. But you know, if it doesn't come off my hands, it's okay because it will eventually. A little more contact solution. Just a few more drops, adults. There. And again, I'm going to close it really well. Okay? Now, this is when things start getting messy because you have some on your hands and you have some on the bag, but hopefully most of your mess is inside the bag. Okay? And just really mix it up good. Okay? Now, I think I'm seeing a change in here because it is starting to pull away from the sides of the bag. Look at how it's so stuck together. So let's work it just a little bit more. See how I'm kind of pulling the bag apart so all the glue that's in there gets to get with that contact solution? Okay, I have a feeling that it's ready. I'm going to open it up. Look at how that sticky mess is. And I'm going to start pushing it all together. Now this is when you just kind of have to put your hand in and work on it. And it's really sticky. Okay, but start playing with it and stringing. Look at this. See, it's getting pretty slimy, isn't it? And when I pull it up, it kind of wants to stick to itself more than the bag. So I'm going to keep pulling it up. Ooh, this is the fun part. Okay, now if you're not doing it while I'm doing it, that's okay, because you might find that you want to just watch the first time, because we probably don't want to all be a sticky mess at the same time. So I'm really working hard to get all of my glue out of the bag. And see, when I use the slime to stick, watch. I have a bunch in my hand, and I touch it there, it pulls it off. Pretty soon I'm going to have it all out of the bag, and it's all going to be in my hands. Okay? So this was a good recipe and a very easy recipe for slime. And everything is non-toxic, but it would not taste good to eat. Okay? So don't eat your candy corn slime. Okay? Is it coming off pretty good? Look at this. See? Now I do have some pieces of it on my tabletop. We'll have to get those in my bag too. I am definitely sticking to everything. Okay? Now, as soon as I get my slime into one ball, which is coming pretty quick, then I'm going to divide it into 3 pieces. And they're going to be almost equal pieces. They don't have to be exact. We don't need to measure that or anything because it's not going to matter in the long run. Okay? So, you think I about got it? I'm thinking I about have it. So I'm going to put this bag away. Adults, if you want to grab it and throw it in the trash, that's okay with me. And we're going to play with the slime in our hands for just a minute and see if I put it around my hands, it picks up all the slime. Look at that. My hand's all clean. Okay? So I am going to clean off my hands, and then I'm going to take this slime and I'm going to tear off a piece that I think is about 1 out of the 3 pieces. Okay? And I'm going to open up my bag, my little bag, and I'm going to put the white part of my candy corn in first, because that is the tip of the candy corn. Okay? Then I'm going to take the other piece and tear it in 2. And I'm going to put it in my hand, and I'm going to pour a little bit of yellow paint and glitter into this slime. Okay? Now, please don't put a lot in to start with, or you'll have paint everywhere. See, I put in that much. Now, I showed you that I made the beginning. It's kind of pale. I would like this to be a little darker. And see how I'm mixing it? trying to keep all the paint in the middle while I mix it in. So I just keep kind of folding it in. I'm getting a little paint on my hands, but that's okay. And that's getting pretty bright, isn't it? Now, if you want it to be pretty bright, you can add a little more paint. But again, only a couple drops, okay? And if you pour down the side, you'll get more of the glitter. Because it looks in mine anyway like the glitter's kind of stuck to the outside. Okay, so I put a little more in, fold it in, and I don't have that paint getting everywhere, or at least getting everywhere a little bit less. Okay? It's getting pretty yellow, isn't it? And then you're just going to mix it up until the paint is all mixed into this piece of slime. Okay? Now, I think it's about ready. I like the color. I think it's very candy corn. Thing is rolling into a ball. And I'm going to plop it into the bag on top of the white. Okay? There we go. White and then yellow. And then we have the last piece of white, and we're going to make it orange. Okay? Yeah, and I've got really good glitter in this. So I'm going to put a little bit in the middle, just like I did on the other one. Not very much. I think if you used all of the paint we gave you, you might not ever get it mixed in. It probably would just make your slime really wet. Okay? So don't put it all in, just a little. I'm getting a little bit of paint on my hands, but it's okay. Okay, and there we go. And I think this is probably going to be just the right color of orange, but we'll find out. But just play in it, stretch it, roll it around. This slime has really good consistency, doesn't it? Okay. Should I add a little more? I think I should add a little more. Okay. Okay, a little more. I'm going to set the paint aside because I think I'm done with it now and I don't want to knock it over and get it on anything else. Okay? Okay. Just play with that slime, get it all mixed up. Isn't it fun? Okay. And when you think it's all mixed up well enough, and you've got all the slime off your hands, and you've got your hands pretty well covered with paint, then you can say that one's done too. And then you can plop it in your bag. Okay? Now if it sits for a minute, they're all going to kind of turn into little pancakes. And then finally, you can get out the whole mess of candy corn slime and just swirl it together. Okay? Just twist it. Ooh, I like that. Okay? And there is my candy corn slime. Okay? Okay. I'm going to put it away so we can make another craft. Make sure that you keep your slime in the bag, that you don't get it all over the house, on the walls, the furniture, the floor, and that you keep it closed, okay? Because it won't keep as nicely if it's not kept in an airtight container. Okay, there you go. I'm going to set that aside. Now, if I were you, I would go wash my hands, but I'm not going to. I think I'll be fine. And we're going to start the next craft. Okay? And the next craft is going to be our sunflower. So put your blue piece of paper on the floor. Well, actually, if you want to do it on the floor, you can. Put it on the table. Set your seeds aside. Okay? Green paper. I'm going to cut a stem first of all. And I'm going to make my stem a little bit curvy. Now, with all of my crafts that I do with you, remember that I don't want yours to look just like mine, and you don't want yours to look just like mine either. You want yours to look like yours. Okay? So make sure you just make this flower look like what you want it to look like. So I have a stem, and I have blue paper. Now I'm not going to glue it yet. Okay? I'm just going to set it there and look at it. That looks pretty good. And then I want a leaf for my sunflower. And I think that sunflower leaves tend to be kind of long, but I'm actually not sure. And you could make more than one leaf if you want to, too. Okay? Now, put it on your paper and think about how you want it to look. And then you can get your glue and glue it on. Okay? Now, like usual, my glue is probably going to take forever to come out. Good. I'm going to put my stem on first. Okay? It's okay if you have too much glue. You know that I always have too much glue. Put glue on the back of the green leaf. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to put it over here. Now, my sunflower, whoops, is going to sit up here in this area. So I put my leaf a little bit low to keep it out of the way because I don't want it to get all covered up. Okay, now this is your paper came kind of folded up. Some of them probably more folded up than others, but that will help you because this tissue paper is so thin that you can cut a whole bunch of them at one time. So I'm going to cut some petals for my flower that are kind of long and skinny. So there's some orange ones, and there's a whole bunch of them here. Okay, you can feel them coming apart. There's a lot, okay? I'm just going to make a pile of feathers. Not feathers, petals. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and then I want a yellow one, okay? So I'm going to make a yellow petal. Okay. And this is the long petal. See, there's going to be a whole bunch of them too. There. I have some pieces I'll pick out, some little short pieces, but I have a lot of petals. Okay. Now, I'm going to make some shorter ones too, okay? Maybe shorter and a little bit wider so that I have some different sizes. Okay, there them. I'm going to put them in a different pile. I'll have my short ones in one pile and my tall ones in one pile. Okay? Finally, I'm going to cut out some orange shorter parts. Okay? Now, when I glue these on, I'm going to mix up my orange and my yellow. But you don't have to mix up your orange and yellow. You could put a whole layer of orange on and then a whole layer of yellow. You can do it however you want. But I'm going to kind of get them all loosened up and in two separate piles. So those are my tall ones. And here's my short ones. They're all stuck together still. Okay? And I'm just going to try to work on getting them all apart so that I'll be able to use them. Now, when I get started, I am going to put my tall ones on first. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right down the middle. Okay? And I'm going to put it in place near the top of my stem. Okay? And then I'm just going to go back and forth. Sometimes I'm going to use orange, sometimes yellow, and I'm not going to worry too much. And you notice I'm not really putting glue all over the petal because you don't have to. It can just be glued part way on. Okay? And you just keep going. And I'm going to put a couple in before I show you to you again. Also, your petals can come off the page if you want them to. They don't have to stay within the page. So I'll show you, mine are going to start coming off the page because my orange petals are super long. So see, I'm just kind of adding them. Let's see, I'm going to put another orange one here. That one really came off the page. Okay, more. And sunflowers usually have a lot of petals. So you can use as many as you want. You don't have to use them all, but you can if you want to. Just make sure you kind of press them down a little. Okay. I think I'll use another orange. Now, I am guessing that when you do this, you're going to have extra petals that you don't need to use, and that's okay. Okay. I think I'm going to start doing my short petals on top now. Now, this is an art technique called collage, and that's when you layer paper. But the fun thing about using tissue paper is you can kind of see through it, and we're going to see some orange underneath. So let me put a couple on, and then I'll show it to you again, okay? So again, just a little bit of glue. Now, you'll notice that I have not worried too much about what happens in the middle, because when we're all done, I'm going to have a brown circle that I put on it like this that will help me cover up the mess in the middle. And see, they're loose, and that's okay. So I think it needs more. Do you think it needs more? Okay. So I'm just going to keep adding some petals. Just get some more in here. Some yellow, some orange. And just layer them on top of each other. Now, when I was talking about the brown circle, it made me realize that when I opened my bag, I don't think I showed you a brown circle. So I'm going to need to make sure there is one. Now, I think a lot of you know that sometimes things hide in the bottom of the bag. So it may be in there. I hope it is. If you're ever missing any parts of your kit, that could happen because we make a lot of them. But you probably have something at home that you could use to fill in if you find that you're missing something. Okay. So I think I am putting on my last petal. Okay. There's what it looks like so far. Now, I'm going to look and see in the bag. So hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. I think I covered up the camera. And I'm going to look in the bag and look at what I found. Okay. So give me a minute to put this down. Okay. So now I'm going to take my brown circle and I'm going to put glue around the outside of it. I'll show you in just a second, okay? Like that. And I'm going to put right of my sunflower, okay? And then this is the fun part. You can take more glue, make sure you press that down. Take more glue and put around. And this part you're going to want to put a lot of glue on because that'll help those sunflower seeds stick. So lots of glue. Now I'll show you mine in just a second so you can see how much glue I put on. Because I'm putting a lot on. Okay. Look at all that glue. Okay. Now you're going to take the sunflower seeds. Now if you want to, you could take your seeds and make a pattern on your sunflower seed. Now I am not going to do that because I don't think you want to sit and watch while I very carefully place every single one of those sunflower seeds. You can see that if I wanted to, I could make a pattern. I could do a row around the outside and then another row. But the other way you can do it is you can just take your seeds and just sprinkle them around, okay? And these are sunflower seeds that are for birds to eat, just like if this was a real sunflower. They are safe too, but I don't know that you really would want to eat them. A lot of times when we grew sunflowers, we left them in the garden so that the birds could eat the seeds out of the heads during the winter. And that worked really good. So I'm just kind of pushing the seeds around and I'm pushing them down so that they will stick to the glue. And I pretty much have my whole brown circle all covered up. Okay? So when I hold it up, some of the seeds are going to fall off if my glue isn't dry. So I am not going to hold it all the way up because I want all of them to stick that can. If you see any bare spots, just add a few more seeds. Okay? And then set it aside so it can dry with all those seeds on it. Okay? Just pressing them down. Okay? Adults, you might have a few sunflower seeds around your house. That won't hurt anything. Okay? So there's my picture. Okay, I'm going to set it aside now, and I'm going to get my extra petals and put them aside. Is your workplace going to look a little messy like mine? It might. Okay, now we are going to do our pumpkin. Okay, so you are going to need your beads and your green pipe cleaner and your orange pipe cleaners. Now, I want you to take the 4 orange pipe cleaners. Let's look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to get them all matching at the top, just perfect. And then straighten them out if they got a little squiggly like mine did. Straighten them out so that they're all together. Okay? So we want them even at the and we want them even at the bottom. And then we are going to guess where the middle is. I think I'll go this way a little and pinch it. And then I want you to give it a good twist so they're all hooked together right in the middle. Okay, see, they're all hooked. And then I'm going to just take each one of those, and I think I'm going to call them the legs, even though pumpkins do not have legs. I'm going to call them the legs, and I'm going to spread them out. It's a little bit like a big orange spider. It even has 8 legs. Okay? Then I'm going to set it down. I'm going to turn my computer. And I am going to take the beads and put them on each of the pipe cleaners. Now, I'm going to do 2 at a time. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and press them clear to the center. And I'm going to do that on each leg. 1, 2. Now, adults, if you have really younger children, this is a wonderful exercise for them, as long as they don't eat the beads. Stringing beads on pipe cleaners is a great motor skill, fine motor skill for kids to do. So I'm putting 2 on each one because I kind of want my pumpkin to have similar numbers of beads on each of the legs. If your pumpkin has similar numbers of beads on each leg, it's going to be rounder. Now, are pumpkins always perfectly round? Absolutely not. They are not perfectly round. They come from nature. So if your pumpkin does not have exactly the same number of beads on each leg and it's not perfectly round, that's totally okay. Okay? Now, I'm going to keep threading beads onto my pipe cleaners until I get to about that far. So adults, that's about 2 inches that you're going to want to make sure you don't put any beads further than the last 2 inches or so. Now, I don't want you to thread all these beads, so I'm going to show you what to do next. But remember, you are going to put beads clear to the end to almost 2 inches on each one of these legs. And after you get the beads on, you're going to gather up all of these pipe cleaner ends like this. This is kind of fun. I wish I did have time to put all those on. I'll do it later, okay? I'm going to gather them all up. This is not easy. You might want to borrow another person's hands. And see, then I'm going to go like this. And look at how I'm making that pumpkin a little rounder. I'm starting to curve. Those are all covered with beads, even though mine aren't. And then adults, if you need to help them, you can. Look at this top, and you twist it around so that all of those ends are caught at the top. And then you can set it down, and you have beads all over, and you can squish them until it sits up nicely the way you want it to. Okay? You can't quite see it, but remember, this is what it looks more like when it has all the orange. Then I'm going to take my green pipe cleaner, and I'm going to thread it around and try to cover up this piece that we twisted with green so it looks like the pumpkin has a stem. Okay? And if you don't get it completely cut, it's okay. And leave about this much. Can you see that? There, against the table, you can see it better, can't you? You just thread it around. Okay? And when you get done with that, you can curl these little ends around a finger or around a pencil, or you can just curl them, because pumpkin vines tend to have little curly tendrils. Okay? See, there's one. Curl this one. Okay? Now, your pumpkin will look magical when you get all the beads on it. Look much better than mine, but you can keep that from year to year and use it as a decoration. Okay? So I hope you had fun making our crafts with me today. We made candy corn colored slime, and we made a really cool picture, a sunflower picture with seeds, and we made a beaded pumpkin that I'm going to finish after we're done filming of my orange beads. Okay? Okay, I had fun with you this evening. I hope you had a good time. Please remember to watch our calendar for our November and December family make and take kits, and come in and get one to do with your family in December. Okay? Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.